What's up, my fellow Acronians? It's your buddy Scooby here, back with another LolCow TCG deck build. And for this video, we're going to be going over my Sweetheart deck. And for those who want to skip the explanation of the cards that we're going to be going over today, I'll throw up a timestamp on screen now so you can skip to see the entire lot of cards that we take today. But anywho, we're going to go ahead and get started with the 5 cards that were limited to 1 per deck. Y'all already know the 5, but we're just going to go over them anyway. 1 pot of mead. And for our Valentine's cards, they are actually universal, which means that we get to choose if we want to make this a LolCow or a Scribe deck. And I think that it would actually be more interesting to turn this into a Scribe deck, so that means that we're allowed to take the 1 Mr. Medicare the Forbidden One, 1 Server Outage, 1 Racksmith Arrives, and 1 Pickle Quest. And moving on into our Trickery cards, we are going to be taking the 2 maximum that we can of the Vitamin CWC. And right next to our Vitamin CWC, we're also going to be taking 2 of the Shattered Dreams. And right next to both of those, we're going to be taking 2 of a Little Extra Protein, 3 Do-Was, and 3 Information Overloads. Moving on to our Magic cards, we're going to be taking 3 Conway Chili Slot Massacres, 2 WTF Was That, and 2 Mediker's Judgment. And last but not least, before we move on into our character cards, we're going to be taking 2 Disorder in the Court trap cards. Moving on into our character cards, everything that we're going to be really needing for this deck is in this line of cards right here. These are all the chibi LolCow cards that came out with the Valentine's bundles. Hence why the name of this deck is called the Sweetheart deck. So starting us off, we're going to be taking 3 LolCow Aussies, 3 LolCow Cafes, 3 LolCow Lives, 3 LolCow Milkers, 2 LolCow Nerds, 2 LolCow Queens, 3 LolCow Rewind, and 2 LolCow Tech Talks. Moving on into our other character cards, we are going to be taking 5 of these toy tanks. And the reason why we're able to take more than the 3 limit is due to that yellow text on the card. Our main deck can have any number of cards named Toy Tank. Since this is a Scribe deck, we're going to be taking 3 Bazinga Boys, as well as 2 Smoky McDracks. And to finish it off, we're going to be taking 3 Blue Spikes. So now that we have everything out on the playmat, let's quickly go over everything. Pot of Mead, of course we draw 2 decks and then ban this card. Again, that special one we're allowed to use since we're doing a Scribe-based deck, Mr. Medicare the Forbidden One. He is a legendary Scribe with Immortal on him, and when Mr. Medicare the Forbidden One enters the field, you can send any card on the field to its owner's scrap pile. Next up we have the Server Outage, which we can scrap all characters on all players' fields. Next is Racksmith Arrives. We can draw 3 cards, gain 50 life points, deal 50 damage to any player, and scrap any target character. And lastly, our limited cards, this being the Pickle Quest, we can search our deck for any card and add it to our hand, then shuffle our deck. Moving into our Trickery cards, we have the Vitamin CWC, and whenever we see an X, that just means however many tapes that we would like to pay for that card. So just keep that in mind. So with the abilities of this Vitamin CWC, we can draw X amount of cards, then lose 25 life points for each card drawn, or we can deal damage to the target character or den equal to 20 times X. Next up we have the Shattered Dreams. We have 3 abilities with this card that we can choose from. We can draw 1 card, spend target character, or we can scrap a target item. Next up, a nice little Trickery card, we have a Little Extra Protein. The target character that this gets attached to gains 20 attack and cheap shot until the end of outro. So let's say that your character is low on health and your opponent declares a beatdown on it to take it out. As long as you have 1 tape, you can play this on your opponent's turn and attach it to that character so that it has the cheap shot, and that card will damage your opponent's card that is declaring the beatdown and you won't receive any damage back. So this could be a good way to kind of negate a beatdown. And next up we have and negate any card your opponent plays from their hand, then send it straight to their scrap pile. This can be used to shut down some pretty nasty combos and can be very game changing. Next up we have a card exclusive to the Scribe decks. We have the Information Overload, and with this card we can deal 50 damage to any target or remove 50 damage from any target. Moving on into our Magic cards, we're starting off with the Conway Chili Slot Massacre, which of course we can scrap all non-Chungus type characters on the field. So essentially this is just like a Server Outage. Then we have a WTF Was That, another card that is exclusive to the Scribe decks. And with this we can deal 60 damage to any target character. And coming in for our last Magic card, which is of course another card that is exclusive to the Scribe decks, is Mediker's Judgment. We can choose one of the following effects with this. We can either gain 60 life points or ban a target character on the field. And lastly, for our non-character cards, we have the Disorder in the Court. This just prevents all damage that a target character deals that turn. Moving on into the heart and soul of this deck, we have our Chibi Valentine's character cards. And of course, again, that universal tag just means that we can use them in either a LolCow or a Scribe deck. Each of these cards has a different ability, but we will soon see how we can pair them together to make a pretty decent deck. So starting off, we have the LolCow Aussie. This card has Leap on it, which means that it can only take damage from characters with Reach, or from a Magic or Trickery card that can deal damage. Next up, we have the LolCow Cafe. This character also has Leap on it, and instead of declaring a beatdown, we can spin this card to draw one card, and also if it's before 10 AM our time, we gain 20 life points. Unfortunately, you do have to do that spin ability in order to gain that life points, but you can do that on every turn. Of course, as long as it's before 10 AM. And moving on to our LolCow Live. This card has Immortal on it, and while this is on the field, all of our other characters with Chibi in their name have plus 10 health and plus 10 attack, which this card will really be the beating heart of this deck, as we can use this to pair with every other Chibi LolCow card. And next up, one of my favorites from the set, we have the LolCow Milkers. And when this enters the field, we have two abilities that we can choose from, Psycho and Savage. So if we choose Psycho, this gains dash and plus 50 attack, and we cannot speak during that turn. But if we choose Savage, we deal 20 damage to any target. And of course, like I said, this is whenever it enters the field, not when it is declaring a beatdown. And if you choose the Psycho option, with that plus 50 attack, you can pair it with a LolCow Live to also get an additional 10. So essentially, this card could be hitting for 80. And next up, we have LolCow Nerds. This card has Stalker on it, which of course means that we can play this on either player's turn. And instead of declaring a beatdown, we can spin this character to search our deck for a character with Chibi in its name and place it into our hand, then shuffle our deck. So let's say that we have a couple of these Chibi cards out on the field already. We can do that spin ability to search for a LolCow Live, and as long as we have 3 tapes, we can put that straight onto the field. And that will give all those Chibi characters, again, plus 10 attack as well as plus 10 health. Next up, we have LolCow Queens. This card, just like the little extra protein, has Cheap Shot on it, which again means that whenever a character declares a beatdown on this card, we deal damage first and we receive no damage back. So the ability for this card, when this enters the field, we can look at the top 3 cards of our deck and arrange them in any order that we would like. So this can be used if we really need a card, and that certain card just so happens to be within those top 3 cards of your deck. And moving on to LolCow Rewind, this character has Dash, which means that we can attack with it as soon as we call it out onto the field. It is not affected by lag. And the ability on this, we can scrap it from our hand to rewind a target character with Chibi in its name. And if we do, we must talk in a baby voice until the outro of our next turn. So again, let's say that we had a couple of these Chibi LolCow cards out on the field. We could use this to search for that LolCow Live to give each of our characters, again, that plus 10 plus 10. And lastly, for our Valentine's cards, we have the LolCow Tech Talk. This character has Overrun, which Overrun means takes out the character that is being intercepted and still has extra damage that it can do. It still does damage to the original intended target. So with the ability for this, we can pay 5 tapes and return this from our scrap pile to our hand. And this can be done at any time. Moving on into our Toy Tank cards. Again, main decks can have any number of Toy Tank cards. That is why we are bringing 5 with us. And this card gains, again, plus 10 attack and plus 10 health for every card with the word tank on the field. So let's say that we had all 5 of our Toy Tank cards out on the field at one time. Each of our Toy Tanks would then be brought up to 80 attack as well as 80 health, which if not taken care of could be very devastating. And for our first Scribe card, we have Bazinga Boy Cassette Demon. And essentially with this card, when it enters the field, we rewind 2 tapes. So as long as you have 2 tapes to play this guy, you can literally just play it for free. Up next, we have the Smokey McDrack. This character has Leap, just like the Aussie and Cafe Valentine's cards. And with this guy, we gain life equal to any damage that this character deals. So every time that we use him during a beatdown or what have you, and he does that 40 damage, we instantly gain that as life points. And last but not least, we have the Blue Spike Troll. And this guy has Dash on him, just like our LolCow Rewind did. And this character deals double damage to other characters in combat. So if this card is attacking another character card, that 30 damage would actually do 60 damage, but if we attack for life points, it would only do that 30 damage. Due to these Valentine cards being such a low tape cost, Hopefully you're able to get a lot of these out onto the field at one time, so that way you're able to utilize their abilities to their fullest. And don't forget about those tank cards. If you want to add more in a deck, go ahead and do it. The more you add, the more powerful they will become. And again, with such a low tape cost, it is such a good card. And just like normal, here's a little overhead view of the Sweetheart deck that we built today. Hope you guys enjoy trying out the combos on this one, and I'll see you in TTS. Later!